My fellow Illuminaries, welcome back to the channel. It's good to see all of you again. I hope y'all enjoying your stay. I hope you're commenting, and subscribing, because that is the only way to see all of the great rants and monologues that yours truly has to offer to all of you on this great site known as YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. Good job, YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. Other than that, friends, how many of you actually have friends? Honestly, like, when you go out on your own, graduate high school, go out to college, and finally meet that special person who actually likes you in a very significant way. Yes, I'm talking about your friend. Nope, not your wife, not your girlfriend. Your friend, because there is no alternative motive most of the time to this friend most of the time. You guys are just friends. And then you guys just enjoy yourselves company. That's how a relationship is supposed to work. No, you're supposed to enjoy each other's company to some extent. But I have ran into so many stories and I've heard so many different people's perspectives that I am truly convinced that's not how relationships work. It's actually a sick, twisted version of friendship. Isn't that weird? Weird to me. So I dug a little deeper. I kept asking more people. I could ask people who were in a relationship. I asked people who weren't in relationships. I asked people who don't like me. I asked people who do like me. The same thing comes across with every single thing about a relationship with somebody. Trust. And you know what? Trust is such a general thing because just because I am friends with an enemy of yours, does that mean you can't be friends with me? I don't know. That's the answer I get. I don't know. If I'm friends with you and this person hates me because I'm friends with you, and that happens to be my boss, things get a little messy. And I think this is why people kind of separate, like work, friendship, all this stuff, because once you get into it, you're realizing the more it mixes, the more you can't escape to another part of your life. Like, you can't escape to like another like section of it. Like if you have a problem with your mom or dad or something and they just so happen to be your best friends, oh my goodness, isn't that scary? That's like suckish, you know? And we all should have like I wouldn't even say a backup plan, because that implies like, mayday, but we should have some type of way to help each other out when these things occur. So y'all get what I'm saying though. Friends are important because they are a separation of your family. Even if you have a wife and kids, a mom, a dad, uncle, actually your friend, actually we can get into a little more. Your family starts separating into like smaller sections, because it's be like your cousins you rarely see, or your parents you might see most of the times, and then you got your brother and your sister, and then you got people who you spend time with kind of accumulate into this one key point. These people see you all the time. They see you constantly. They will get sick of you. It's just how people are most of the time. Most people will get sick of you. Because, bro, we all have crazy faults. We all have faults that will cause people to get sick of you over time. But guess what? You don't have to say you're sick of somebody. You can just not hang out with that person for a little bit. Maybe not spend so much time with that person. Might be a good idea. That's why the separation is important, because it's interesting that your best friends are at your job and you go to all these job parties, and then something happens at your job that jeopardizes your job and now you're fired. Now these people aren't there because they're working and you're not. So that compounds with, so it's like you got like a tower, like your job and your friends are inside your job, and then you get fired from your job, so that tower, it explodes, you know. So isn't that important? So I guess my point is separation is important. Separate as much as you can. You can combine with some things if you have to, if it's necessary. But as a general rule of thumb, I preach separation. And please, just because your friends are may be involved in some unsavory activity, that does not mean that gives you full license to look down on them. That does not mean that. That actually means the opposite. Maybe you should help them. Now, if they don't want your help, no reason to look down on them. Now, if you want to do something to prevent a crime, that makes sense. If you want to prevent something bad from happening, that makes sense. To be annoying on purpose and your opinion was not asked for on purpose, I see a little too often right now. It's just a little too often. Silence is important. I wasn't posting videos for years on my channel. That doesn't mean I didn't have a channel. Silence is fine. Sometimes we don't need music every single year from somebody. I know we need to, pay the bills. I get that. But it would be kind of funny, and it might make a good song for one of your favorite rappers to actually be out of Walmart. Working at Walmart. Because, you're just working on his music. Dial back the lifestyle. Maybe get an apartment somewhere that isn't super luxurious. Maybe not have a girl over every single night. Maybe you don't need one with different skin colors every single day. Maybe that's not important. Every single year of your life. Sometimes a season where you rest and recover is important. So, friends, how many do you have? Like, really? Y'all be easy.